Hey guys, I just finished reading Reawakened by Colleen Houck. I'm gonna give this book, I want to say a 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 of 5 out of 5 stars. I have reasons for this, of course. Um, it's of course being the second book that I've read for the month of February, and I knew exactly what I was getting to reading a Colleen Houck book. I knew this was gonna be a fluffy read, just based on who it was written by. But I did kind of enjoy it. I do want to read the second book, so I'm gonna get on to the rest of the review. Yeah. Hey guys, it's me, Jessica, and today I'm talking about Reawakened by Colleen Houck. This is the first book in the Reawakened trilogy, and this is the second book I read for the theme of the month of February, which is romance, and I knew that's exactly what I would be getting from a Colleen Houck book, because I've read the Tiger Saga, and I know how she writes, and I know how she does things, so it was really easy to... I knew what I was getting when I picked this book up. Now, so the synopsis of the book is that the main character, Lillian, or Lily, is rich. Her parents are rich, and she lives in New York City. And she goes to the museum, and because like her parents donate to the museum, she's able to go into these closed exhibit so she can just be alone. And I'm like, why are you going to a museum if you want to be alone? But moving on, she is able to go into this like restricted area because they're working on the Egyptian fingers moving, the Egyptian exhibit in the museum, and so she's able to go in there and just kind of chillax. And there, all of a sudden, she hears a noise, and she meets a guy. She meets this guy named Amen, and it turns out he's a mummy that's been raised from the dead, but he's hot. And so he basically needs Lily to help him resurrect his brothers and stop the evil god of Set causing chaos on the world. And that's supposed to be the plot, but I will say, if you've never read a Colleen Houck book, this is how it works. You read the synopsis and it's all about the plot. It's all about Lily trying to help Amen raise his brothers. But then you read it and you realize it's more romance than it is actual plot. So if you want a fluffy book, then I would recommend this book. Don't take this book seriously. It is not, I don't know if Colleen Houck intends for this, but I don't take these books seriously whatsoever. They're just a fun ride to go with. I believe I gave this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars, close to a 4. It was a good read. It's just kind of like, I enjoyed it. I rolled my eyes at it at a time because I'm like, are you serious? This is a book where if you are looking for a great, like, Egyptian story, you might find it in here, but it's fluffy. That's it. Like, Colleen Houck definitely did her research about, like, ancient Egypt and the mythology of ancient Egypt, but the plot itself is more romance than the actual plot. I feel like that's a warning that I need to put out there because not many people really understand that. But yeah, so that's my reading, that's my synopsis. It's just kind of a quick thing, and I'm gonna go into spoilers now, so here we go. Alright, so this book, oh my god, I don't know if the people who are watching this who have read Reawakened have read the Tiger Saga, but I have, and I just felt so many, like, callbacks or just parallels or things I was like, oh, that reminds me of a character from Tiger Saga, and I enjoyed Tiger Saga, not the 4th book, but I enjoyed Tiger Saga. It was a great, I felt like it was, like I said, it was fluffy. It's like a guilty pleasure of mine. I really don't take it at its face value, and I really just, whatever. Okay. So with Reawakened, there is a character named Aston, and Aston is like Kashan, basically. And I was like, I'm done. And then Amen is obviously Ren. And Lily is not Kelsey, I will say that. But Lily definitely did annoy me with all the questions she was asking. Like, girl, you don't need to ask so many questions. I swear, every time she spoke, it ended with a question mark. And I was like, girl, you don't need to be asking this many questions. Like, I figured out things before she did. before she even asked a question, I figured out things. Like Colleen, I feel like Colleen Houck didn't trust her writing. Like didn't trust her readers to figure out what she was insinuating in the writing. Like, it's another show not tell thing. Like, she was doing a lot of telling and not a lot of showing. And I understand with, like, when you're doing ancient Greek, like any ancient kind of civilization, you're doing a play on that. There's obviously needs to be a bunch of backstory, and there was definitely a lot of backstory. And I really enjoyed it. That's what, like, the mythology and, like, learning mythology through kind of, like, a modern adventure is something that, like, I like, obviously, because I love Percy Jackson, and I feel like Percy Jackson definitely, like, does that. And this does it as well, and it does it pretty well, I will say that. But the romance in it, oh my goodness, like, she first meets Auden, and she's like, oh, this man's different. Oh, he's different. I could totally see myself with it. I'm like, girl, oh my god, we're literally starting this now. Because I think, like, even in Tiger's Curse it started like that. When she first sees Ren, like, as a human, she's just like, oh snap, he hot. And that definitely happens in this book. And I think I don't know how I feel about Amen. I mean, I definitely like that he doesn't like that he has to use her energy to sustain him. I definitely like that. Like, he respects her. He's like, I wish I didn't have to do this, but, like, I literally need to save the world from chaos. So, like, I liked how he didn't want to use his powers, and I liked how she was willing to give him her energy when she finally realizes what the heck's going on, because it takes her too long to really understand. But I really like that he respected her and he wanted her to stay alive. And I feel like that definitely helps the course of relationship, because he comes to care for her to the point where he's in love with her. And I'm like, literally, it's been a week or maybe a couple of days and you guys are in love with each other. Like, I don't like how in YA the word love is, like, tossed around so easily, because I don't feel like it should. This is basically insta-love, but they don't use the, like, it's like instant attraction and, like, but over the top instant attraction to the point where it's almost insta-love. Like, that's what this book is. And I mean, like, I was complaining to a bunch of my coworkers and a bunch of my friends. Like, I was reading this book and I'm like, you guys are literally in the middle of an Egyptian tomb and you're discussing why he won't kiss her. Like, you literally almost died like 5 minutes ago, and this is what you're discussing? Like, it made me roll my eyes, but like, I still ate it up. I'm still a girl that likes that cheesy romance. So I still, like, I was like, oh my god, why won't he kiss her? But the other part of me was like, oh my god, just shut up about this and, like, find the Canopic drawers and find his brothers, please. Alright, I want to talk about the brothers, because they weren't very developed. Like, Aston, I know, is Kashan, like, without a doubt. I'm like, Ashton's Kashan. Like, all his development is done for me based on the previous books I've read by Colleen Houck. But Amos, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He's a little tricky. Like, he's kind of a sweetheart, and so far he might be my favorite of the brothers. No, I do. Okay, I don't know, because I like that kind of personality where the guy is a little bit of a jerk, but he's still kind of sweet, like Kashan and Aston, and later on in the series of Tiger's Saga, Ren. I need to stop talking about Tiger's Saga, but anyway, moving on. The brothers, yeah, I was a little iffy. They definitely hopefully they're more developed in the second book. I know what happens in the second book. I was talking to a classmate of mine, and she's read the Tiger Saga, and she's read Reawakened, and she's read the next book. Hasn't read the third book, but has read the next book. And she tells me it gets a little confusing, because I know what happens. I know what happens in the love department of this series, considering the second book, but not plot-wise. Like, I don't know how things happen. One thing I was confused about was the epilogue, but my classmate friend, my acquaintance friend, cleared that up for me. Cause I was like, wait, is that the, like, doctor's assistant who became evil in the epilogue, or was that Amen? And she's like, that was Amen. And I was like, that just, like, that doesn't sound like him for some reason. Just, like, the way he was portrayed in the epilogue, I didn't know it was him because it just was written weird to me. So yeah. Now that we've got past the epilogue, let's like scoot back to the end part where the bond between Amon and Lily is like solidified and they're like kissing and it's all like lovey-dovey, and then he's like, okay, our time's up, you have to kill me. And I'm like, what? It just, what? Like, why? This doesn't make sense. And he's like, the people in the bond, like, the person who established the bond, like, has to die. And I'm like, this just sounds like you're trying to make it dramatic, Colleen Houck. Like, that's all I could think of. And obviously, the bond has not been broken between the two of them. Like, obviously, for dramatic purposes, Colleen Houck would not allow it. Like, that's all I can say. I mean, she does have his literal heart, so we'll see what happens with that in the series. It's like a book that, unlike, you know, Shatter Me and Unravel Me, those books I like have with a literal eye and I like analyze about like how they did things and stuff like that. I can't do that with Colleen Houck, because like I don't care about it at all. Like, I found myself not really caring about Lily or Amon or Aston or Dr. Hassan and Amos. I didn't find that I cared about them. Like, I didn't care. One thing I will say is I was expecting Dr. Hassan to like betray them. I was waiting for that. I was like, Dr. Hassan, I don't trust this guy. Like, shows up and like, I'm this priest guy that's meant to like help you out, and I just like, I didn't trust it. I didn't trust it at all, and it was just like, and then it was like the assistant that is the bad guy, and then she tries to do the thing where like the bad guy like is obsessed and is interested in the main character, because she did that in Tiger Saga, and it like causes that conflict where they're like, oh, if she gets captured we really have to save her because like we don't know what will happen and what the bad guy will do to her. So that's like basically the things that happened. Very like almost very copy and paste of Tiger Saga. So those are my thoughts and opinions of Reawakened by Colleen Houck. Second book in my February theme of the month. I am actually right now reading Fangirl. Oh my god, I love it. Okay, but we're not on that anyway. So if you like this video, please give it a like and make sure to comment down below. If you've read Reawakened, I would like to know what you thought about it. I really do like getting comments, so please comment. Make sure to subscribe and ring that bell as well. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I post mostly on Tuesdays and Fridays. Mostly. I do take a break sometimes, but other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!